Before we start this feature film, I would like to apologize for the audio quality. We will have this fixed in our next release. Thank you very much for watching. Enjoy.
Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be seeing if you have to spend more money on new hardware or if you can use old hardware to still have the exact same gaming experience. Let's get straight into it.
We thought that it's time to look at old hardware and is it actually still worth using something that you've had in the corner for quite some time to play some games and have a good gaming experience instead of spending hundreds and hundreds of pounds on the new Nvidia and the new AMD Radeon cards when they are released tomorrow. Actually, by the time this video is done, it will probably already be out. But yeah, do you actually need to buy new cards to get a fun gaming experience, or can you game on an old system? Now, that's what we're looking at today. So what we've got here is a 4-core AMD Phenom X4965. It is a 4-core CPU, and it will boost up to, I think, 3.2. We'll double check in a minute when we look at the system on over here. It's got 12 gig of RAM. It hasn't got 16. One of the sticks died in it, so it's now actually only got 12 gig of RAM in it. And it's got a pretty measly 1050 Ti with 2 gig of RAM installed. Not the best card out there now, but it does still play some games fairly well, as we'll show you in this video. Okay, it's game time on an old system. Let's play some games, shall we? So we've got a few lined up. So the first game we're going to look at is Sims 4 on this 4-core AMD Phenom X4 CPU with 12 gig RAM and a 2 gig graphics card from Nvidia. Sims 4. Loads of people play Sims 4. It's still popular even to this day, still loads of updates coming out for it. And we're just going to see how it performs on this system. I'm thinking it should do fairly well, but we will see. Okay, so I've got my daughter Ellen playing the game because it's not really my type of game. But she's going to do a quick build and we're just going to see roughly how it, well, exactly how it performs on this particular system. For those of you that may not have already played this game, I can't believe there's people out there that haven't even seen this game. It's been out quite a while. So we haven't really got much on the screen right now, but we're using around, well, you can see on the screen, we're using around, sorry, this is how much we're using. Percentage of how much we're actually using of the GPU and the CPU, and the temperature is on this side. Unfortunately, on this motherboard, it doesn't detect the CPU temperature. I don't know why that is. Maybe the board's just too old. I don't know. It's irrelevant for this particular test and situation. Anyway, but you can see there we're fairly even actually. Okay, it dipped down a little bit there. But you can see there, this system will quite happily play this game. And look at the frames per second we're getting there, 100 FPS. Before you point out that this monitor is not a high frame rate monitor or a 144 Hertz monitor, it doesn't matter. I've got VSync off anyway. You can still see what frames it's actually pushing through the game there. That's what we're actually looking at. This is a 60 Hertz monitor and it's not even HDMI, it's literally analog display. D-sub, which is the blue type connection. I'll pop it up on the screen so you can see for those that have no idea what type of connection that is. Yeah, so this is Ellen just doing a quick build of a house, and you can see it's coping pretty well. That's a really quick build, Ellen. Just want to say that right now. Okie dokie. So now we've seen how that performs with starting out in the game and building your house. Let's move on to something a bit more taxing. Ellen, I'm asking you to cheat in the game and buy a really, 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 really top-notch house with many, many floors. And we'll see how that runs. Can you do that? Okie dokie, so now we've got all the money. Ellen is going to purchase a very, very top-notch house with loads of floors and loads of stuff in it already. And we'll see how it runs on the system. So Ellen, if you can just go and do that, that would be great. Okay, the brightness is too high. Let's adjust the ISO here. Okie dokie, sorry about that, guys. The light is adjusted now. So the bigger the better, the more floors the better. Let's really tax this out. Go for that one. You can see the memory usage of the graphics card go up a little bit there, but this game is still using less than a gig of RAM so far, so this 2 gig graphics card is actually just fine for this particular game. System RAM, we're using about 5.5 gig out of our 12 gig. Oh, we've hit a gig on the RAM there, no? On the GPU. And we're hovering around just under between 45 and 50 frames per second. Oh, we went up there. So if you can go into the house, Ellie, and just look around and see what kind of performance you can get inside. Can you walk around and stuff, or go in and have a look around? Yeah, look, see, even that, 60, 40, lowest we've seen so far, 41. Give us some breakfast, Ellie. Oh, brunch, okay. But even inside the house, we're getting very, very playable frames per second there. Very, very fun gaming experience, I would say. So Ellen could spend hours on that, but we don't have hours to do that. So we're going to move on to the next game. Oh, wow. She cooks quick. Okay. Next. We're still waiting. Okie dokie. So now we're going to play Battlefield 5. Believe it or not. We're going to give it a go. Okay, so we've got at least got to the login screen, the loading screen there. 100% CPU usage just on this screen, so I'm not entirely sure how this is going to run at all with a 2 gig graphics card and 12 gig of RAM on a 4-core system. Oh, hello. Oh, we're into the menu. Okay, so the only bit we can do... Okay, there's 2 bits we can do. Let's do the introduction. That's a good start to the game. Okay, here we go. This is the first part. It's actually loading the game now, so this is the video introduction. This isn't actual gameplay. This is not gameplay. So, yeah, this is literally just playing a video. You'll know when we get into gameplay. Hope, endurance, atrocity. Norway 1940. Where this game begins. Okay, you're actually in the game now. This is gameplay, so get ready to take control. All hell is going to break loose. Unfortunately, you've got no sound. I've got no speakers in here now, at the minute, so yeah, you're just going to have to imagine the gunfire and shooting and bullets flying over your head. But yeah, look at that. There we go. It is a pretty place until all this happens. Look. Oh. Got a little bit of stutter there, but that could be load stutter. We are at 100% CPU usage now. So that is taxing this CPU completely. So really, you're on your limits with this game. It is quite a dark game on this part, so we'll carry on through, and we'll probably skip to some other parts as well. But yeah, this bit is dark, so if you can't see much, then that's because you can't see much in the game. But it's handling really well. We are maxed out on both CPU and GPU now, as you can see. GPU, we're not really looking at temps because of the location that we are. We can't do a controlled assessment of temps here, so we're not actually looking at that now. But we're under the 2 gig limit there. I think that's probably the game recognizing that there's only a 2 gig graphics card in there, so it's not filling it all up. So we've got 1.9 now, 1.8, just under 1.9 gig of RAM used on the GPU there. Just over 8 gig of RAM used. So we're still within our 12 gig, which is nice. We are getting quite low frame rates there, look. Just under 40 frames per second in this so far. And there's quite a lot of stuff going on. So if you want to know what resolution, we're running all these games at 1080. It's actually 1920 by 1200 is the resolution we're running at. So it's not even 1080. So Not much higher really, but even so, we're still getting fairly playable, very playable, I would say, frame rates. I know those that want that 60 FPS mark, but you know, just to get a gaming experience and have some fun. For those that aren't interested in super fast frame rates, then you can still use that PC you've got in the corner. That's the whole point of this video, really, is to show you that you can have fun on an old system. And now we're in Libya, 1941. I think Ellen is now going to drive a tank, or at least attempt to drive a tank. Go on, Ellie, blow some stuff up. Not your teammate, though. Big open areas now, as you can see. The FPS has gone up to just under 60 now. Oh my god. I haven't played this bit for a while, actually. Getting smashed to pieces there, Ellen. Push forward, push forward. You can zoom in, I think, if you right click. Shoot it. No, that's you. That's your team. Sorry. I don't know. Just shoot anything that moves, Ellen. Shoot. Basically, anything that's shooting that way is yours. Anything that's shooting towards you is the bad guys. Holding it at just under 55 frames per second. Still with some of the fancy effects going on. We've got some glare on there. Got the splash effects. We've got sparks flying around everywhere. So you still get the feel of the game as they intended it. Obviously, this isn't as good as it could look. It could look a lot better than this, but even so, on this pretty old system, it's really, really looking quite good, actually. Ellen's taking a bit of a pounding. I think she's going to kick the bucket in a minute. So, yeah, I think it's time to move on to the next game. We're still waiting for updates. Okay, so next up, we've got Unreal Tournament. This is free on Epic Games, so you can download this and play it for yourself. Just do quick play deathmatch. It's a quick one. And we'll go in and see how this runs. This isn't actually the original Unreal Tournament. This is not how I remember it. This is the updated version. Even down in the bottom, you can see there it says, this is an early version of the game with a lot of placeholder content. So it's kind of, as it says, a collaboration between gamers, developers, and Epic Games. So they're really keeping this game going. Got a little bit of stuttering going on there as it's loading the map. Okay, so it loads in the textures really low res, and then after a couple of seconds, it loads the rest of the textures in somewhat higher detail. So if you just stay in one place a minute, Ellie, let it load in. Okay, don't stand around too long because you'll get shot. Okay, so here we go. This is it. Oh, yeah, red is bad. Red is bad. Oh, Ellie. Unlucky, bro. So this is with real players, not AI, not bots. And of course, we haven't explored the whole map yet. So there is going to be a little bit of loading going on as we're progressing around the map for the areas that she hasn't seen. But you're getting, it's not maxing out CPU and GPU, well, just under. Depends really where in the map she actually is. But GPU is not going to 99% like Battlefield 5 was. So, well, there we go. It has just gone up. Only for a second or two. Oh, no, it's back up again. It basically depends. It depends on what you're doing, what's in the map, what you're looking at, and all those kind of variables. But generally, it's not staying there, and it is perfectly playable. I mean, again, look at the frame rate we're getting. We're getting above 50, 45 to 50, 45 to 60. We've got 61 there, 68, nearly 70. Yeah, I know. And again, it's pretty much almost maxing out the RAM on this GPU, on this 2 gig 1050 GPU with 2 gig of RAM on it. It's just, look, 1.8 gig of RAM using there. Still, again, on this one, we're using around 5.2, same as we were in some of the previous games. Sims, I think it was. Sims 4. And it looks to me like Ellen is having a whale of a time. maybe dying a little too much. But she's doing better than me. Oh, that is my favorite weapon. If you right click and hold it, it fires more than one at the same time, and then let go and it fires them all. So, but don't do it against the wall, because you'll pay the penalty for that. Yeah. So right click, hold, it loads free up and then lets them go. Left click is just single shoot. Oh, she's going to spend hours in this. Right, let's move on to the next one. We're still waiting. Okay, next up is GTA 5. Okay, here we are. This is story mode in GTA 5, and as you can see there, right from the outset, we're getting almost 60 FPS. Drop down. It will drop down, as most of these open world games will, depending on what's going on. We are at, again, 1920 by 1080. 1200, sorry. And we are most definitely CPU bottlenecks here. Look at the CPU usage there. 100% CPU usage. And even this old 1050 is only using around half-ish of its capability. And temperature-wise, it's hovering around 37. But as before, we're not really looking at temperature here. We can't control the temperature in the building we're in because it's kind of outside. Okie dokie, so we're going to go into a built-up area now and see what kind of FPS we can get. We can see it drop down to about 35 there, but it's still completely playable. I haven't seen any of the games that we played today drop down below 30 FPS, or at least not that far off 30 FPS. You start going lower than that, you really are going to start noticing those drops as you're waiting for like load times and memory timings and stuff like that, and general loading of the different elements in the game. But really still actually completely playable. Yes, I know I'm not a very good driver, but look at the car though, it's awesome. Get out of the way, get out of the way. Okay, so what we're going to do now is go to the airport, and I'm going to fly up and just see what kind of draw distance we get on this old system. Okay, so I'm going to try and steal this helicopter. There's someone actually in it, so let's just yoink. Thanks. And we're just going to go up and see what the draw distance is like. Okay, so we're back in the heli. We're going to go up and see what we can see. Oh, dropping the frames there. You can see it stuttering a little bit. But that's to be expected though. But actually, the distance that you can see over in this distance basically isn't that bad. We're still hovering around 47, 50 frames per second there. Okay, we'll drop down to 40. Okay, so we saw a quick view there before we died of the sort of distance that you can get even on this game. So yeah, I think that's enough of this game. Let's move on to the final game, and that should hopefully be Fortnite. Updates. Not a good time for updates. It was literally working yesterday. Damn you. Okay, so now on to our final game. And of course, it's got to be Fortnite. It has now updated. So let's dive in. Oh boy, so we're doing Marvel Knockout now. And I've never done this before. I don't play this game that often, if hardly ever. So don't expect any super gameplay. We're not really interested in that. Just check out the stats up there. We're at 30 frames per second, and it's not even in the game yet. About 50% CPU usage, 28 on the GPU. Let's see what it's like when it actually gets into the game. Apparently it's activating my superpowers. Oh boy. Oh, it's a tiered type of game. Okay, interesting. This could be quite devastating for me. Let's go down here. So it's not amazingly smooth. We seem to be capped out about 30 frames per second there, and we can do a lot more than that, as you've seen in the previous games. Oh, I'm nearly dying already. Oh, literally, I have superpowers. That's it. Get through the wall. Oh no. Okay. I think I get this. So there's another person over here somewhere flying down. Is he my teammate? That one definitely isn't. Even the trees catch on fire. Nice. Oh my god, what the hell is that? Like a fly? not really sure what's going on right now. Okay, so since this was last played, it was on a completely different system and, well, graphics card anyways, so the quality was actually a little bit lower. So you can see the quality's gone up a bit. I've now increased the frame rate because we capped the frame rate limit before. Oh, I could fly. So that's why I was capping out at 30 before. But now, look, we're going to 42. Still completely playable. And I've killed someone, yes! Yes, 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 yes! I can't aim for love nor money, so let's get over there. Oh, look at it. Look at her jump. Jeez. Where are you? Am I the only one left? Oh, jeez. Terrible, terrible. I did say you weren't going to get any good gameplay from me on this. Oh, let's sneak up behind. Yes, come on. You son of a gun. Oh. No, no, no. Still there. Get up the hill. Come on. I want to win this before the end of the video. Where the hell is he? Oh, dear. The circle must be really, really small now. But look at the frame rate. We'll get over 40 frames per second. Okay, there's nothing on the screen right now, but I can't respawn. The time's running out, so it looks like that game's over. And we got knocked out. That's a shame. I didn't expect anything less. Okay, so we're going for some bog standard battle royale. Pretty much where it all started. God, this map has changed since I last played this. Damn. What the heck has happened here? Oh, we got a bit of freezing there. I don't know what's going on there. So we're doing Battle Royale now. And, okay, we're really, really high at the minute. Already 100% CPU. Nearly 100% on the GPU. This is Solo's Battle Royale, of course. A little bit of issues there as it loads down and starts loading all the textures off the mechanical drive. So those sort of issues can be sorted out with an SSD for sure. But what we're interested in here is the general FPS that you're getting out of the game. Bit more stuttering there as it's loading textures. Let's land on top of this building, shall we? You can see all the things loading up now as it's getting there, but I look at the bad textures on this. This will change in a minute once it wakes up. You definitely want an SSD for games like this. Open world games like this. I mean, look at that. That's pretty bad. It's not loading in yet, is it? It should look much better than that. Anyway, I need to concentrate and get a weapon, so yeah. So as you can see here, I've died and we're following along someone else at the minute, but you can get a general idea of now it's loaded all the textures in. It's not too bad. Fairly steady 35 or 30 to a sort of 50 FPS there. But again, we're maxing out the 4 cores on this system here, so at this stage when you're playing this level of game, you really want to start looking at upgrading your CPU to at least an 8-thread CPU, because yeah, 4 cores is really pushing it. I mean, it's playable, you can play it, but it is maxing out your CPU. It's probably going to end up overheating this unless you've got a fairly good sized cooler on it. So it seems to be coping well with the Prism cooler there from AMD, so not too shabby. So there we go. That is what you can expect to see from an old system. 4-core CPU, 12 gig RAM and a 2 gig graphics card. Maybe that's knocking around in your cupboard and you didn't know what to do with it. Well, at least you know now. You can play fairly good games on it and have a really good gaming experience without spending the thousands of pounds or hundreds of pounds for the new RTX cards out there. You can still have fun playing on old hardware. Of course, there are many limitations to this hardware. It's not really upgradable anymore. It's fairly slow. Other than the gaming experience we've just had, I would definitely recommend putting your games on an SSD now. As you saw there, some of the loading times maybe were not particularly great, and we had a bit of stutter there playing Fortnite as it was trying to load up the textures in the game. Definitely SSD is a very cheap upgrade for older computers, but other than that, the general gameplay and the frames per second we were getting was pretty acceptable actually. I'm very impressed, especially with Battlefield 5. So if you like this kind of content, then do comment down below and maybe we'll look at the Intel based system as well and see how that fares. with a similar type of game set that we played here today, and just to give comparison from both sides, because this is a little bit AMD obviously one-sided here, so it'd be nice to do an Intel system as well. But anyway, comment down below if you like this video, and maybe give it a thumbs up, and subscribe if you like the stuff that we do. Don't forget to check out all the links down below how you can support us, and we'll see you very soon. We're still waiting.